Hi everyone, a very good morning to all of you. Today we are going to study the question number 47, that is, how does transformer works? It's all about transformer. How it will work as step up or step down transformer, and very many times they asked question based on this particular topic. Now the very first thing is, what is transformer and its principle? So transformer is nothing but it is a device to step up or step down voltage, AC voltage. And it works based on mutual induction. Nothing but electromagnetic induction principle. Means when there is a change in magnetic flux, there is a EMF induced in a coil so that it causes induced current. So based on this principle, the transformer works. Now, the next thing is, what is the construction of transformer and how it works as step up and step down transformer. See, actually here it should be like, what is the construction of transformer? So it should be like here, transformer. Now, usually so we may arrange the coils like this. One coil and this is the another coil. Now this is like our primary coil and this is like now our secondary coil. Or they may also arrange like this. So here only one coil and the other coil. That means like one coil is inside the other one. One inner coil, one outer coil. To minimize or reduce the loss of flux. So we can arrange like that. But in whatever may be the case, like N1 and V1 and I1 are number of turns and voltage and current of primary coil, and N2, V2, I2 are secondary coil. Now here one assumption we will take, that the flux linked with each turn of primary coil and the flux linked with each turn of secondary coil approximately equal, so that we derive the formula that V2 by V1 equal to N2 by N1 or I1 by I2. From the thing that the efficiency, that is output by input, where output is V2 I2 by V1 I1. And here if V2 greater than V1, that means if N2 greater than N1, which implies V2 greater than V1. If N2 less than N1, it implies V2 less than V1. And this is called step up and this is called step down transformer. So a transformer can work as step up or step down depending on the number of turns in the secondary coil. If the number of turns in secondary coil are more than number of turns in first primary coil, then we call it as step up, and otherwise we call it as step down transformer. Now, based on these equations, usually the questions will be asked. Let's see. Just understand the question and collect the data properly. Like I'll show you few examples. So the very first thing is, in a step down transformer having primary to secondary turn ratio, that means N1 by N2 they have given as 10:1. So 10 by 1. The input voltage applied is V1 is 250 volt and output current, that is I2, is 10 ampere, assuming 100% efficiency. So 100% efficiency means the formula is like N2 by N1 equal to V2 by V1 equal to I1 by I2. The voltage across secondary coil V2 we have to find. So V2 we have to find means we should know V1, N1, N2. So you can take this equation. Now in that equation N2 by N1 is 1 by 10 equal to V2 by V1 is 250. So what is V2 equal to? 25 volt. Similarly, current in primary coil. We have now V1, V2, I1, I2. Then you can equate V2 by V1 equal to I1 by I2. Then you will get the I1 value because they have given I2. Now power output means V2, I2. Now you got V2, I2 both values. Then you can substitute. So this way, simple formula based question they can ask based on the transformer, but one of the important topic for the entrance point of view. Now after this, the second question, a 10 kilowatt transformer has 20 turns in the primary. So N1 is 20 and N2 is 100. An AC voltage of 600 sinus is applied to the primary. Find the maximum value of flux and the maximum value of secondary voltage. Now, maximum value of flux we have to find out. Now they are asking about the flux, maximum flux. General flux is BA cos O theta or BA cos omega t. So that the flux maximum is B into A. Now the induced EMF V equal to V naught into sin omega t, general formula, where V naught equal to NAB omega, or V naught also I can write it as N omega into AB, but AB nothing but maximum flux. So they are asking about the maximum flux first. So the maximum flux will become then V naught by N omega. They have given the V naught value. V naught is how much? 600. So V naught is 600 and omega is coefficient of T, that is 314, and number of turns are 100. So you can substitute and you can calculate it. And also they are asking maximum value of secondary voltage. Now this you can find it using the formula, because now we got V2 by V1 equal to N2 by N1. So when you consider this, N1, N2 is there, V1 is there. Now you can calculate V2 value. So where V1 is input, so input voltage is nothing but 600. So that 600 value if you substitute, then you can find the V2 value. So here the question is little bit confused just because they are asking about the flux. Now the next question is the ratio of secondary to the primary turns in a transformer is the ratio of secondary, that is N2 by N1 is 3 by 2. If the power output, so power output means V2 I2, that is P. Then the input power is, so input power means V1 I1. Now, so input power by output power when you consider, that is V1 I1 by V2 I2. Now V1 by V2 I can substitute as N1 by N2, and I1 by I2 I can substitute as N2 by N1, so that both get cancelled, then 1. That means output power and input power both are equal. So that way you can understand the question. Now let's go to the next question. In a transformer, the number of turns in primary and secondary are. So again they have given N1 is 500 and N2 is 2000. If current in primary is, that is I1 value is 48 ampere, then the current in the secondary, that is I2 they are asking. So N2 by N1 equal to I1 by I2. Inverse ratio will be there between number of turns and current. So if you substitute, then you will get the answer. Because we have N2 2000, N1 500, I1 48 by I2. 0 0 cancel, 5 4s are 4, 12s are. So I1 equal to, sorry, I2 equal to 12 ampere. So one last and final simple question based on the same thing. A loss free transformer having N1 is 100 number of turns in primary coil used to transmit 10 kilowatt power. So input power is 10 kilo means 10 into 10 power 3 watt. The input voltage, that is V1, is 200 volt and power is transmitted at, okay, power output is 10 and the input voltage at what input power they are telling, 5 kilo. Just 1 minute. See, a loss free transformer having 100 turns in primary is used to transmit 10 kilowatt of power. So here, so 100 kilowatt of power it should transmit, and that power is transmitted at 5 kilovolt. That means the output voltage is 5 kilovolt. Now the current in the primary and secondary of the transformer coil they are asking. Now the very first thing what we can find here is, here V2 by V1 equal to N2 by N1 equal to I1 by I2. So the very first thing is V2 is 5 kilo by V1 is 200 equal to N2 by N1 is 100, 0 0 cancel. So that N2 will become 2.5 into 10 power 3. Now, after finding N2, we have V1 value and we have output power. So, here output power P naught equal to V2 I2. So that I2 will become P naught by V2, where P naught is 10 into 10 power 3 by V2 value is 5 into 10 power 3 cancel. So 2. So I2 is 2 ampere. Now after finding I2, you can take I1 by I2 equal to anything like N2 by N1 or V2 by V1. When you consider V2 by V1, V2 is 5 into 10 power 3 by V1 is 200. Then if you calculate, you will get I1 value. That is like cancel. So 25. So 50 answer will come. So like that, from the given question, the first thing we need to understand that it is used to transmit 10 kilowatt of power. That means output power is, it has to transmit as output 10 kilowatt. So output power is 10 kilowatt and the input voltage they have given clearly 200 and the power is transmitted. So it is transmitting out at what voltage? 5 kilovolt. That means that is the output voltage. Then they are asking input and output currents or primary and secondary currents. So that way, here the same formulas we are using, but the way of asking question and understanding the data is little bit tough or confusing compared to the previous questions. So that way, whatever may be the question based on transformer, you need to understand the question thoroughly. Then you can solve it using the simple 2-3 formulas whatever we have taken. So thank you all of you. So similar questions I have given as assignment and also there are NCRT questions based on the same thing. See, 4 questions are there. So try to solve all the questions. We'll continue in the next session with the another question. Thank you.